And we are recording on Thursday, June 13th, 2024 at 11:04 a.m. Eastern Time with Mr. David Weiss and the link to your podcast. And I think just the podcast. I'll find the link to the YouTube and put it in there. And so my buddy Adam requested that I get you on, and he was like, he wants to go on people because, like, you were just saying, I got banned from YouTube. I don't, to me, words are words. I take no offense or anything to anyone. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll do a flat earth show, man. Like, what do I care? I'm not married to it. My identity is not wrapped around it. I don't care. And I was just like,
Well,
That's a fun idea. Yeah, man, so introduce yourself, then, yeah, take it away.
hey, I'm David Weiss, also known as Flat Earth Dave. All my links, everything I talk about can be found at flatearthdave.com. That's the only link you need to post.
All right,
Everything.
all right. I'll get that right now and update the description.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. And here's the funny thing. You say your identity is not wrapped around, whether it's a flat or a globe. Most people's identities are wrapped around that. So that's good that you don't
Yeah.
think they are. And then you also said, I don't really care.
All right.
That's something I'm going to show you that you do.
All
Yes.
right. All right.
You
Yeah,
do.
sure. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get, but yeah, so I have had people be like, so what is, if it was, then they're like, what was the value of that? I'm like, no, I can think abstractly. Yeah, no, if that's not true, what else is untrue? And if your very idea of the world is messed up, then how can you go about and navigate your way through this reality? Sure. No, I get that. I get the importance of that. I mean, in terms of like, like, I've had on, like, Israeli, like, special forces soldiers, and I've had on, like, Muslim guys who are like, Israel's a terrorist state. I'm like, that's more of like people get hot under the collar. I don't with that. I certainly don't with this. So
Good, good,
I
good.
get the importance, but like I said, I'm detached from it, man. I'm like,
A
let's
lot of
do
people
it.
say,
Let's do it.
with all of that other stuff that you're bringing up and worse things that are going on in the world, what the hell are we talking about the shape of the earth?
Yeah, yeah,
What difference does it make? And the
sure.
truth um, is that this is the foundation of all the lies. If they
Okay.
can convince you that you're insignificant, that you're flying through an expanding universe, that you came from a big bang, um, they can convince you that a boogeyman's going to fly through the air, and if you breathe it in, you're going to kill your grandmother. Right? They can convince you of anything.
Voltaire, those who can convince you of absurdities can make you commit atrocities.
Yes, absolutely. So, if they can convince you that 2 plus 2 is 5, then they can convince you of anything.
They mutilate your children's genitals. Hey, you're
Yeah.
5 years old. Do you think you're a girl? Sure. All
Like,
right. Okay.
whack
Yeah.
it off. Whack it off.
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm following you.
Um, so I like that. I kind of like never know where to start. I always have a plan and it never works out. So you think the earth is a globe. Do you know why you think that?
Well, let's see. Just right off the top, I would imagine, right? Indoctrination. That's how you're born and raised. Just, you live in the United
All right.
States. There's 50 states. It was founded in 1776. My name's Tommy. I'm Irish Catholic. I'm kind
All
of just
right.
like, you're born with it. All right. Yeah, sure.
You're open-minded enough. That's good. So you don't know why other than you were told,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Just
I've
like
never
we were
seen an
told.
atom. Yeah.
Yep, yep. Does no one ever has.
Yeah.
Um, and with all of the stuff going on in the world, there's two things that all of the countries agree upon. They fight over everything else, right? They agree that you can't independently explore Antarctica or
Yeah, that's about to say Antarctica. And then there,
and
yeah.
that you all must get the thing stuck in your shoulder,
Yeah.
and multiple of them. And wars are going on everywhere, but we have
But we
Russian,
all
Chinese, and the U.S. on a space station working
we're
perfectly
all but we're
together.
all we're all in
Yeah,
cohorts.
yeah,
There are nuclear subs off the coast, but we're we're
yeah.
just, we're just breaking bread in orbit.
Have you looked into the new Cokes?
No. Oh yeah, I heard briefly of, I think it was last year, and yet I actually saw a video on Rogan where they're like,
Yeah, they were breaking it down.
well, they were showing that, and I was like, this is. Then I looked at it, and I was like, wait, the house does change. And that's
Yeah,
one of the things, man, is like, it's so easy. And I think the first person to ever suggest me to do a flat earth episode, I like made fun of them. And they're like, well, Tommy, you pride yourself on having on people you disagree with and opening your mind. And I was like, that's fair. He's like, why wouldn't you do this? And I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. And I'm like, you know what? I'll listen to any of it. So yeah, looking at the video, the house, and then the thermal pulse, and then the shockwave, and they're like, the house changes. And you're like, wait, what is that?
yeah. You think that taking someone's ball away is going to trigger them. Try taking their scariest thing in the world away, nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because for some reason, people grab on to like this universal fear that we all have. It's kind of a community.
Mm.
So we don't have time. You've got a hard out in less than an hour. And on my
We
website,
yeah, we can do multiple shows. It's cool. Don't worry.
flatearthdave.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, close to the bottom, and there's a banner with nuclear bombs on it. It says the new Cokes. Listen to that information, make up your own mind. Don't believe anything anybody tells you. You have to verify everything. But
Sure.
once you see that information, once you hear it, you're going to be like, wow. Right?
No,
And
it's
think
a
about it. Think about it. Fear is how they control us. False evidence appearing real, right? Fear is how they control us. Fear of we're running out of fossil fuels, which are is a lie. We're overpopulated. We're global warming. We're running out of resources. We're running out of food. The boogeyman's gonna get you and kill grandma and all of the stuff. They keep you in fear. That's what this is all about. But if you understood where you live, who you are, what this place really is, then all of that changes.
that's a that is how do why do empires fall? And it's because the army and the forces they thin out, and you don't have enough people to control enough people. It's a fair point to say nukes. I don't need to see a soldier with guns. I go, the nukes are going to come down from no. It's a if I wanted to run the world, that is a very convenient thing to have.
100%. And the other thing is, for those of you that are freaking out that Tommy's talking to a friggin' flat earther, I offer 3 Bitcoins. That's $121,000 right now, I think, for 1 globe proof. But here's the funny thing. Most people, their subconscious will be going, he's too stupid. It's a lie. If you think I'm stupid, supply 1 proof that you live on a globe. But I warn you, if you honestly go look, you're going to end up being a flat earther, right? This is not flat earth. If you Google flat earth, this is what you're going to get.
I think that's like the thumbnail, and that's because I Googled the first image and threw it on the thumbnail. So
Of course, that's what
yeah,
that's what they serve you. That
yeah.
is not flat earth. This is crazy. This is
Okay.
a fake flat earth in a fake heliocentric solar system, which is not true, right? You'll see this meme out there, no flat earth. Well, that's not the meme. I changed it. We're not a disk in a heliocentric world, right? We are the basement of the universe.
Okay.
And all of the lights in the sky that we see are not what they tell us. They're not, if you look at planets, right? Have you ever looked up and seen Jupiter in the sky?
I think I saw Mars once.
Well, Mars is like a small reddish star,
Yeah.
right? But Jupiter is like the biggest, brightest
Yeah.
light in the sky next to the moon, right? You have to think about it, right? Why is it so bright? Why does Jupiter have light? Do you know what the official story is?
The official story would just be reflection, right? Gaseous atmosphere, so reflecting.
Right, reflecting light from the sun. Right? So does a gaseous atmosphere, is it
Yes.
reflective? Is it reflective, or would it absorb light?
It would reflect it would ultimately would absorb light in comparison, let's say like a metal sheet, but I guess in the vacuum in the hypothesized space, it would be reflective in contrast to a vacuum of nothing.
Right. So it's reflective, like
Relatively.
it'll light up a little bit, but it's not going to reflect like a mirror.
No, it's not a mirror, but in contrast to blackness, it would reflect. It would be something on the radar as opposed to nothing.
Right. So do you know about the inverse square law of light? The inverse square law, for those of you that don't know, is every time you double the distance of something, it's a quarter of the brightness and a quarter of the size.
Yeah.
Right. So our sun is a certain brightness, right? We're 93 million miles away from the sun. That's what they tell us, right? Jupiter is 4 times as far, 400,000 miles away. 400 million miles away.
Yeah.
400 million miles away. So it's over 4 times as far. So if you went halfway, if you double the distance to our sun, so now we're 93 times 2, we'll just call it round up 200 million miles away, the sun will be a quarter of the size that we see it. So it's like the size of a pencil eraser now. And then if you double it again to the
It'll
distance
be
that Jupiter is, it would be tiny. So you have to imagine that that tiny distant sun that's smaller and dimmer and casting less light is reflecting off of the non-reflective surface of Jupiter and then traveling 400 million miles to Earth, that reflection, and we see it as literally like a star as bright as the sun.
Hmm.
And it is, if you look at Jupiter in the sky on a clear night, it's as bright as the sun. It's just small. So what's going on there? That proves it's not what they say. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
It's named after a god. That's interesting, right?
God of War.
Yeah, I mean Mars, all of the planets are
That's
named.
Mars, not Jupiter.
Yeah, all of the planets are named after gods. So
Mhm.
I'm not making any claims. I just like it's it's very interesting.
Mhm.
So this is, let me just show you this. This is just this just came out the other day from space agencies. A telescope on Earth just took an unbelievable photo of Jupiter's moon. Okay, let me just give you a clearer shot there.
Mm.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
What is that, a gumball that I was sucking on for 25 minutes? They took the coating off of it. I mean, look at this stupid thing. This is what they show us. They show us that there's no stars in the background, of course,
Mhm.
and we have this crystal clear shot of what? What is this?
Yeah.
I mean, just because it says NASA, or somebody took a photo, and then they show you this.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to go back to a point you just said, which is I think an important point as someone that I love conspiracy, I love all things challenging the narrative. It is it's always important to like what you just said. I don't know what it is. I'm just saying it's like if you start picking apart 9/11, people are like, what you think the government did? I'm like, I didn't personally, I think they did, but I'm like, I didn't say that. All I'm saying is like this isn't adding up, right? Just because you don't know what something is doesn't mean you're claiming to know. And I think that's an important step in any conspiracy, any challenging of a narrative to go, I don't know what the answer is, but that doesn't look like the answer is. And then to follow up what you just said about that, my favorite comedian, Tim Dillon, he was like, the next war is going to be a space war, and they're not even going to have to show you images. They're just going to,
They're
you
just gonna
can't see
tell
it.
you.
They're going to be like, it's on the far side of the moon.
Yeah,
Northrop
yeah.
Grumman needs another trillion. The aliens are there. Here's a blurry photo. Shut up.
Did you hear the head of NASA? I'm spacing on his name, but the head, literally the head of NASA. Tell me if you can catch what he said. What's wrong with what he said? Somebody said, "Why is China going to the backside of the moon?" And he goes, "I don't know." He goes, "We never go there because it's always dark there."
Yeah. The
Is the
backside.
backside of the moon always dark in the
Well,
heliocentric model?
the
No, it's
far,
dark half. It's far. It's dark. It's the far side. It never faces Earth, but it's light
not
half
always
the
dark.
time.
Yeah, no.
It's
We don't.
light half the time and dark half the time. But the head of NASA doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
So what I'm showing here is this is the moon. It's
Hmm.
pretty in focus, and then this is Saturn. This is actually real footage, and they're both in focus. Now we can focus our zooms before the moon, at the moon, and beyond the moon. But when we focus on the moon, and if we switch to Saturn or Jupiter or Venus, they're all in focus. And we can focus before, in front of them, and beyond them. But for some reason, cameras just see them all in the same focus, like they're all the same distance.
Mm.
Right now, look, this looks spherical to me. I'll even say I think it's spherical. I can't prove it. Okay,
Sure.
I can't prove it's spherical. But what difference does that make? Look at the lights in your ceiling. Does that make the shape of your floor any difference?
Fair.
Right. Here's the thing. We only have a little time. We're gonna do another show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, I'd love to.
anybody that's listening that's like that, I'm striking your curiosity. You want to win the 3 Bitcoins, go to flatearthdave.com, find the banner that says latest interviews, and just start watching some of my interviews. And you'll start learning a lot of things, and your whole life will change. Here's a cement ball, middle of the day. I'm close to it. I would say this is more reflective than a gassy Jupiter, right?
Mm-hmm.
How come it's not blinding me? How come it's not reflecting sun? How come it's not casting my shadow behind me? Right? Because the sun's on it. I'm right next to it. This is the moon, 250,000 miles away, and it casts a shadow on the ground. It casts my shadow on the ground. I can read by it. How does a dusty, dirty moon reflect light. Jupiter's even worse, right? It's 40 times farther.
I would say again, and I have a biology degree, not this, but I would say if just to play devil's advocate, I would say it would be the contrast. One is against blackness, the other
Yeah,
that's cement ball. If we put it in a, I don't know, let's put it in a gymnasium and turn out all the lights, you would say that it probably would reflect a little more enough to see your shadow. I don't know, but just
right.
again, that's as someone who's just keeping
Even
it,
even if you went at nighttime and you put like a spotlight on
yeah.
it, just focus the spotlight on it, it still doesn't cast a
I know
shadow
you're right.
and light 10 feet away where it's going to cast a shadow. I mean, maybe
Sure.
a little bit, but once you start looking at these things, here is we have 4 moons here, okay, and that one's not a sphere. Do you think the next one is a sphere? Is that one a sphere? Is that one a sphere?
Hold on. Let me.
Is that one a sphere?
This I think the second one is.
This is a sphere.
Yeah.
Now that's amazing because that one's flat.
Oh,
Right. What I'm showing you
all
here is,
right.
unless you know the size and distance or something about it, you can't make any assumptions to its shape. That's the only one that's a sphere, right? You can't make any assumptions as
Okay.
to the shape, right? So
All
when I
right.
look up at the moon, I think it's spherical. I think it is, right? I think it is, but I couldn't tell you if it was.
The moon.
Right? The moon, it's interesting. Here's the moon taken with a regular camera, a FLIR camera, which is does
Forward-looking
infrared.
infrared.
Wouldn't we see the other half of the moon? I mean, it's with the infrared or the heat. I mean, it's just not in light. It still has temperature.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what IR is for, right? Like the cops videos of the helicopters, right? You
You want
see
to know what the moon really is?
what?
Yeah, so do I. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not afraid to say it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a rock.
The moon's also weird, man. They when the it's let's say the NASA missions were real. It rung like a bell when they crashed something into it,
That's what they
right?
say.
Yeah, and it's the like the 1 in a trillion chance that it's at the same distance or that it perfectly lines up with the sun. I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea that it's an alien satellite to monitor the Earth. Why
Uh,
wouldn't you? What a perfect way
Well,
to hide it.
we don't know, but if you start looking into flat Earth and start understanding the similarities between the moon and the moon map, they're like the moon could have hold on. Let's see. The moon, it looks, let me show you this. It has interesting features on it. So here is our world. Our sun circles around here. And then there's all of these other lands. Like this is the greater Earth, right? And our North Pole is right here. And our magnetic north travels around this red circle every 26,000 years.
Hmm.
And our sun circles our North Pole, right? And so in 13,000 years, our pocket, our pool of defrosted land will be over here, and this will be an Iceland.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a possibility. But
Sure.
here's the funny thing. A planet came by, smashed into Earth, knocked off a quarter of it, and then it turned into a ball due to gravity. And that's the official story of what the moon is. I think
Hmm.
that's the latest official story,
Hmm.
right? How does all of the everything just compressed and turned into a beautiful, perfect sphere, gravitationally locked to the Earth,
Hmm.
right? Does that make any sense to you? Right? Because the official story is that stars are dust and gas that have collapsed into each other and became a star, right? So if you had a box of air and you were in a room that had no air in a vacuum and you open a valve on any side of it, top, bottom, left, right, it's going to instantly fill the space.
Hmm.
Gas violently fills the available space,
Hmm.
right? Contained gas violently fills the
Hmm.
available space.
PV equals NRT.
Yeah. So how much gas do you need before it decides to collapse upon itself?
It's a fair point.
An F
Eh,
ton is the proper answer. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
um, but we're told that nebulas make these our gas clouds dust and gas in a void of a vacuum. That's ridiculous. That are creating stars and they're spitting out stars, right? Like if the gas cloud is collapsing into a star,
It's going to turn into like a hyperstar.
why wouldn't all of the gas? What would make it say, okay, that's big enough, spit it out like a ping pong ball from a ping pong ball machine, and then go park it somewhere in the galaxy? Does that make any sense? The
That's a
entire
fair
thing
point.
would just collapse upon itself, right? How much helium and hydrogen that defies gravity here on Earth do you need to create gravity in space, right? You know, and people say, well, you can't show any example of gas collapsing upon itself, and the heliocentrists will go, well, that's because you know, you can't make a model as big as the Earth in the universe. All right, fair, that's fair, but there's no actual evidence that gas will defy the law of the second law of thermodynamics, which is the uncontained gas will fill the available space.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a million experiments, right? I could have a box of air and I'm in a no air room or a low pressure room, and I open it up. Gravity's not going to hold that air down.
Yeah, I mean that's why your blood boils in space is the absence of atmospheric pressure.
That's another thing too. Think about astronauts and on the ISS doing their spacewalks. They just did one the other day, or they're doing it today or something. It's so friggin' stupid, right? Right. First, they train. Whoops, that's not what I want to show you. Where is it? They train in this pool. You know about the National Buoyancy, right? So the pool, what happens in the pool? Water is trying to get in your suit. Okay, you're under pressure, right? Right? No, and the air is also trying to get
all right,
but in space, the air is trying to get out. Guess how many times NASA has put an astronaut in a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber here on Earth? My guess?
They've done it once. I would imagine they've done it hundreds of times. But
they did it. They did it once in like the 60s, and the guy, before they got all the air out, the guy almost died. His tongue started boiling. They had to pressurize it super fast and save him, because you cannot do that. Here is a guy made a vacuum chamber. He put a glove in the vacuum chamber, so he just stuck his hand in there, and he can move the glove. He can move his fingers around, no problem. But when he takes out the air, when he evacuates it, come forward a little bit here. So he's in there, he's moving his fingers around. But when he takes the air out, so all of a sudden the glove just becomes so stiff and he can't move it at all. Right? And that's not even a full vacuum. These guys are out there in space wearing their snowboarding outfits, right? Doing these 8-hour spacewalks. And what are they doing? They got a wrench and they're like attaching one nut for like an hour. Like, go watch a spacewalk. What are they doing other than little trips? Oh, I'm floating this around. Oh, look, this is floating around. Oh, I lost my glove. Right? Oh, you know, all of this stuff. And they're out. What are they doing? Why is everything on the outside of the International Space Station? Why is it on a submarine? Everything's on the inside. Okay. Why is everything on the outside?
This is a fair point.
Right? It's crazy.
So,
it's crazy.
I'm more. I'm more. Actually, I don't want to interrupt. Keep going.
No, go ahead. Well, I'm
I was gonna say,
all over the place. I have no agenda.
Okay. Yeah. So, what is and I guess maybe this is a misnomer. If you're saying like I don't know what it is, that my first question would be like, then what is it? And to be fair, like I said about
what are we asking
what is
about?
what is the model that we live on? But I was gonna say criticism of myself would be, it's like if people said, so then what do you think happened on 9/11? I would go, I don't know. I know that satellite images show that it was still burning at like 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit like a month later, that the Richter scale doesn't register what the buildings that fell, and that obviously the jet fuel in the furnace can't melt, and the passport survives, and these 19 guys worked for the Taliban, which previously was the Mujahideen, which is funded by the CIA. Like, I would say there's a lot.
Wait. Are you saying 9/11 wasn't what they told us? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying everything is not what they're telling us, but
stoplookthink.com. Stoplookthink.com. Go there if you want to learn about the other. Not you. You already know.
Yeah.
Stoplookthink.com.
the point I'm getting at is like I guess to criticize myself. So if someone says like, so what do you think happened? I can give you my theory, but that's my theory. I can't say that confident because I don't know. But if you put a lie detector on me and said, what do you think happened? I would say this is my best shot. They say, well, do you believe the narrative? And I would go, no, I legitimately don't. I don't know what truly happened. Was it were the pilots real and were they assets? Was it remote controlled? Was it thermite? Was it directed energy? Those are all things out there with zones of probability, but I do know that I don't buy the story. So I guess to criticize myself, I would say, my first question to you would be like, well, what is the model we live on? And I think what you're pointing out is like, I don't 1,000% know. What I do know is what they're saying doesn't track. And that much I would have to say I agree with it. That's if I use that logic, I can't criticize that logic in someone else.
Let me give you the basic model.
Sure.
What we have, right? This is a version of the Gleason's map here. This
Mm-hmm.
is a clock. The sky is a perfect clock. And why do I say that? Because the sky clock is more accurate than any watch on Earth, any timepiece on Earth, because they're all set to the time clock. That's what time is.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're
Right?
set to that. Yeah.
So wherever the sun is, it's noon. So as this goes around, like, so let me just turn it off. So you, what state are you? Where are you?
Maine,
So you're in Maine, and it's close to noon, right?
30 minutes to noon.
Yeah, it's 30 minutes to noon. So here's the sun right here, right? You're in Maine, which is right there. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of small, right? And as the sun goes around, it's earlier in California, right? It's like 9 a.m. there, coming up on 9 a.m. And as the sun goes around, I could wait until the sun goes all the way over here. It'll be nighttime for me. I can call my friend in Sydney and say, "Hey, where's the sun and what time is it?" And he'll be like, "Today." He'll be like, "Well, the sun, it's a noon, and the sun's high. It's as high as it's going to get for the day, and it's over there."
Mm-hmm.
But in um in January, it'll be higher in the sky frame. Watch this. So
Mm-hmm.
this is June right now, and we're near the solstice, our solstice. Let me just
Yeah, June
yeah. So
23rd.
so June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So the sun goes all the way out to the Tropic of Capricorn in December. And so they're having their summer, we're having our winter because the sun's farther away. When something's farther away, even though it's the same height in the sky, it's lower,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's lower, right? So the sun's going right over my friend in Sydney here, right? And I could wait until it gets over here and call a friend in Johannesburg and say, "What time? What time is it? It's noon. Where's the sun? It's directly above me, right?" So that works. So there's a model that works.
Sure.
The elite said, "Hey, let's give the sheeple clocks, but we'll make the hour hand go around twice a day, so they never figure out where they are."
Oh,
Okay.
that you've seen that meme where it's like guy inventing the clock. They're like, so how does it work? And it's like, all right, so there's 24 of these things in the day, and they're like, why not just make it 10? It's like, shut up. Six means the middle. It's like, what are you talking about? 12 is zero, but it's also everything. It's like, I don't want this. How much is it? $50. Like,
It's simply amazing when once you see and figure this whole thing out. It's actually quite mind blowing. Um, let's talk about seasons for a second. Seasons is a good one because people say it's the tilt of the Earth. It's the tilt of the Earth, and that's what causes seasons, right? So here's how seasons are. So this is December, right? So this is summer for the outer South, and go back here. So this is, oops, this way. This is our summer when the sun is closer to us in the inner north. With me,
hmm
right? So on a globe Earth, we have a morning sun. The sun's 93 million miles away, and it's cold. It's cooler. At noon, it's a little warmer. Sun's 93 million miles away, and it's warmer. And then in the afternoon, the sun's 93 million miles away, and it's colder, right? On a flat Earth, the sun's a little farther away, it's cooler. The sun gets closer, it's warmer. And the sun gets farther, it's cooler. Which one makes sense?
I would say for devil's advocate for it's the angle at which it's hitting, right? So in the morning, you have, again, my basic understanding, it's traveling through a lot more atmosphere, right? It's like if I, so like my
Yes.
glasses, if I start to turn them sideways, right,
Yeah.
that's an inch of glass versus
Yes.
if I do this, then it's, whatever that is,
So,
a
so
tenth of an inch.
right, right. So, did you know in the heliocentric model that in our summer in the north, the sun is 3.5 million miles farther away than it is during our winter, but it's that tilt that matters, right? That's what they
Mm,
tell us. Okay.
mm,
But think about this. So here's our north and south pole. So there it is. And they say we're tilted, when we tilt it towards
yeah,
the sun, that tilt is everything,
yeah.
right? But what if I put the poles here? That's tilt now, right? Either way, you can tilt the ball any direction you want. It's all tilt,
Mm,
right? If the camera's the sun, it doesn't matter how I turn this, right? So in June, when the sun appears on the horizon, we couldn't be any farther tilted away from the sun. That is the worst possible angle. It's an 89-degree tilt when you just see it on the horizon. The sun's also 3.5 million miles farther away. But in June here in Connecticut, I could feel the heat of the sun on my face and it's warm
mm,
at sunrise. But in December, when the sun is at noon at the highest point in the day, which is like a 50-degree angle to me, and we're closer, I can't even feel the heat on my face.
mm.
That gets rid of the whole tilt idea.
Okay.
So here we are. It's outside. We're sitting outside. It's freezing cold. And somebody brings a heat lamp and holds it directly over my head, 10 feet in the air. Okay. So this person's warm. They see the sun directly above them. This person's cold. They see the sun at like a 40-degree angle off the horizon. Right.
Mm,
So they see it, not above them, farther, colder. This one person's cold. Now, this person walks over, keeping the sun at the exact same height. This person's now warm. The sun is higher in the sky for him. Hasn't changed height, but it looks higher in the sky. It's closer. He's warmer. This person's cold. The sun's lower in the sky.
mm,
That's how seasons work.
mm.
So if we go back to the app here, so right now, the sun is June. It's almost at its total inner lap, inner circuit, right? We're coming into the height of our summer. The sun is closer to us. Now I'm going to just June, July, August, September, October, November, December. In December, it's way out here. And it's farther away from us, just like that person. The sun's farther away. In the winter, the sun doesn't get as high in the sky. Why? Because it's farther south.
Mm.
It's out south. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. This is my app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's a $3 app. Full disclosure, there's some advanced features on it that has an $11 a year subscription. You don't need the subscription, but you'll probably want it. But if you want to learn about flat Earth, Google is going to hide everything from you. But on the app, there's a question mark button right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings you to the frequently asked questions. Hey, why would they lie? That's a great one, right? Why would they lie? That is a fantastic.
That's like the one I have like the least problem with is like why would they lie? I'm like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't they lie? They're demons from hell. Like
yeah. Seasons, a bunch of videos on that. These are all the questions you're gonna ask, right?
Mm.
And I have my Bitcoin challenge is get the app, watch every day. There's a daily video right here that Google is hiding from you. Right? You'll never find these videos. Watch the daily video while you're having your tea or coffee in the morning for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think you have one globe proof, check the frequently asked questions first. Well, the gravity, the air, whatever, boats over the horizon. Go to the boats over the horizon section. Watch a couple videos there and go, oh, that doesn't work. And then before you send it to me, because I'm happy to pay you the 3 Bitcoins if you want a globe proof. Unfortunately, the Earth is not a globe. And you're not going to have any proof, but I'm willing to listen. But first, make sure it hasn't already been debunked. 99% of the people that send me stuff is fully answered in the frequently asked questions section. And then check it out. And what difference does it make? People, we're trained to say, what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday. I still have to go to school on Monday, right? Or work, right? That's what we're trained to say. We're programmed to say that. I don't even know what day of the week it is today, to be honest. Okay. I really don't know.
Thursday. It's
Because
it's it's a it's a valid and an invalid statement. On one
yeah,
hand, it's like, no, it's true. Like you still got to go to work, but it's the same. That's
that,
also the
that
same
all
use.
changed for me. Listen, I had my own business. I work in corporate America, did really well, left the company, started my own business. It turned out to be one of the best, solar power development companies in the East. And in the middle of that, I walked away from the whole thing because this is an important message that needs to get out. Like, we can't win the war against the elite. We can't win. We can't stop the abduction of children. We can't stop any of this, corrupt governments until we realize where we are. If we play on their ball field, we have to play by their rules.
No, and that's a fair. That's what I was saying. It's valid and it's valid to say what does it matter if you still have to pay rent because factually you do still have to pay rent, but it's invalid in the same way that people say, so what? The Patriot Act, Echelon, X Key Score, Solar Wind, this, what are all these NSA programs? I have nothing to hide. And it's like, that's what leads to this slippery slope of what, that's the same thing as, why do you need the First Amendment if you got nothing to say? It's like, that's not the way to go about it because it opens the door to tyranny. So no, I agree with you 1,000. On one hand, sure, I still do have to pay rent, but if you don't know the entire picture, if you don't know what we're working with, then you are not on the right foot. You're playing in their home field advantage. And that much is correct, right?
If you don't know your history, if you don't know what they're hiding, what are all wars fought over? Land and resources,
Yeah.
basically. Land and resources and power. What if there was 1,000 more continents?
Yeah,
Whoa.
no, 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 yeah. Now you start going, hey,
Whoa. What if there's
hey,
other
yeah.
civilizations, advanced civilizations? What if we're in the middle of the movie Idiocracy and not at the pinnacle of civilization? That is the actual truth. Our history. This is a channel. This is on the homeschool page. This is called My Lunch Break. I don't know if you ever seen it. He's on all platforms. You can find him on the app or just search My Lunch Break. Just start watching his videos. Puts out one like 20, 30-minute video a week. Mind-blowing on our history. Once you understand that our history is a lie, once you understand that there was an advanced civilization here just over 100 years ago, like what about the Wild West? Or the Wild West is when we repopulated the
Mm,
already existing world that was here.
mm.
Okay. So just start watching this stuff, right? And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. For those of you that are just super doubtful on this, on my website, flatearthdave.com, scroll down until you see a big picture of me and it says crash course. And there's a list of videos right there. Just start watching. Watch the first 3 videos. It is scientifically impossible to watch the first 3 videos and remain a Glober. I'm just saying.
I
It's
think
scientifically impossible.
Yeah, I'll admit I do like the point of, it's like what difference does it make? And that's a fair point. It's like what's the single biggest like mafia on the planet? It's the military industrial complex.
Absolutely.
It's the only
Absolutely.
one that Eisenhower, Smedley Butler, and JFK were all like, hey man, that's a big, and it's like, well, what does that thing do? Well, it is the primary mover of war material to what extract resources. Sure, we'll put it under the guise of, as all wars, religion and conquest and nationality, but it comes down to you want the cobalt, you want the lithium, you want the oil. If you did live on a place where, I'm in an apartment building, right? And there's however many units. If there was 100,000 units and not 100, I wouldn't care if somebody wanted the fifth floor. I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just go get the sixth floor. I'll admit that's an idea I hadn't brought up is, well, no, no, no. What if it is 1,000 times bigger? Why would you need to go knock over Iraq? Why would you need to? Oh, it's for a system of control.
Right.
So I'll surrender that point. Touche.
What right here is this is a heat map of people that have my app. So you think flat earth is nothing? This is a heat map of people that have my app, all right? And that's not even all of them, right? So
Wow.
and I'd say flat earthers that have my app are less than 1% of the people that are awake and aware to this.
Hmm.
Because I come across flat earth groups every day that are like, We never heard of you. I'm like, you've never heard of me? That's kind of crazy.
Mm.
Because I am all over the place. So another thing is if you look at when we just again, we do not need to theorize what's beyond Antarctica or above our heads to prove the Earth is flat. The Earth measures flat. All the measurements for the globe are pre-assumed and are made up. Like the radius was falsified. Therefore, the entire heliocentric model falls apart. But if you want to theorize a little bit about, what's beyond Antarctica, maybe there's more land here.
I have seen those pictures and
Yeah.
my guilty pleasure is I love those. I think it's just
Yeah.
I love looking at it. I'm like, this is the
But
sickest
here's the
idea.
thing. The reason I bring this up is there's a ton of evidence. There's tons of old books and stuff. The Iron Republic, the Smoky God, Navigator Across the Ice Wall. All of these books are in the book section of my app. But for those of you that are like, they train us to love the ball. They brainwash us with aliens from outer space and that everything. Like I love Star Wars and Star Trek and
Sure.
all of that stuff, right?
Fun.
And people don't want to let that go. But space is scientifically impossible. But flat Earth, extra land, extra territory on the outside of Antarctica, that would be an extraterrestrial from the outer space.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
that's
sure.
just tens of thousands of miles away, not light years. You know what a light year is? You know how stupid a light year is?
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
the closest star, outside of our solar system is 25 trillion miles away, 4.5 light years, 25
yeah,
trillion miles.
Proximus
If
and
you and I,
Centauri.
if you and I were traveling at a mile per second and we traveled for 1 trillion seconds, we're 1/25th of the way there, right?
Yeah.
You know how long 1 trillion seconds is?
In 30 years.
31,000 years.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So in 31,000 years, we're only 1/25th of the way to the closest star. You know what? I'll borrow a rocket from Elon. He's got a super secret rocket. It goes 100,000 miles an hour, a speed that no one has ever even fathomed. Right? It's only going to take us 28,000 years to get there. And when we get there and find out there's no life on the stupid planets that are supposedly orbiting this gas ball in a space vacuum,
Yeah, turn
we have to
around.
go to the next star,
Oh,
which is 100 times farther away. Okay.
Lord.
We got problems, right? And then they've got advanced civilizations that fly here and crash in Roswell, or maybe they're just coming from out here. Maybe they're just coming from out here. This is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple. Shows all these other continents out here. What's going on out here? Maybe. I mean, there's some crazy stuff when you start really looking into it.
Let's say let's
This is
say
the
I
moon
was,
map.
yeah, let's say I was in charge, and like you said, that's absolutely a reason, resource scarcity, right? That's how you impose all sorts of military control or lack or perception of. And
Yep.
then, yeah, I mean, the same thing with learned helplessness, right? It's like, a baby elephant, you tie it to a tree that it can't move. And then as it gets older, it just thinks that it can't pull the tree, learned helplessness. The reality is it could snap the tree, but it doesn't know that it's been taught that. That's what you'd want. You'd want people to be like, you'd be like, yeah, that's 4 light years away, man. Ain't nothing over it. Don't even bother. That's a fair point.
They want you to think that these distances, and then people are like,
Learned
oh,
helplessness.
they fold space and the wormholes. You got to make up shit like that for for outer space. But for here, on a flat Earth, where there's a wider dome. I mean, I love this one. We live in this pond, and these are other ponds,
Oh,
right?
that's cool.
These are
Yeah.
other ponds. Each pond is a piece of the plane or a planet.
All right.
I don't
So
know.
then I did see a comment that I did like where it was like someone's like so it's a derogatory like so we're on a flat earth, they're like what's beyond the edge of it, and someone's like, well, what's beyond the edge of the universe? Like we still accept that we're something in nothing.
Wait,
Like
in the heliocentric model, our universe is expanding at like 1 billion miles a minute or a
faster than the
day
speed
or a
of light.
second.
It's expanding
It,
faster
it,
than
it's expanding. What's it expanding into?
no, it's isn't that Einstein quote? He goes, once you accept that the universe is something expanding into nothing, you don't mind wearing stripes with circles. Like you don't mind wearing clashing clothes. Like what does it matter? It is a fair point. It's like the explanation is as insane, right? It's
Once
like
you understand that this place is intelligently designed, now that changes. So why are the elite trying to hide the fact that the Earth is flat.
Well,
'Cause
why do they want to get rid of the, power sources? Why do they want to stop procreation? It is by definition, whether or not they believe in it and whether or not you believe in it, it is by definition satanic. It's an inversion of go forth and multiply. It just is what it is, atheist or not. That it just is what it is. It's the antithesis
if you
of the human spirit of go forth and multiply, be still and know I am God, grow. And it is the opposite. It's you suck, you're nothing, don't procreate, don't buy a farm, go live in a city, you're a scared little creature.
right.
It is by definition satanic.
It is a satanic ball, and if you look at all the math that they came up with for the globe, I mean, 6 times 6 times 600 is the circumference of the Earth. The Earth curves at 0.666 feet per mile squared. The curvature 66.6
Yeah,
thousand
we're
miles
going, yeah,
or
around
around
the,
the
yeah.
sun. 6 times 6 times 60 is the diameter. And then I'm not going to read them all,
Speed of
but
light 660 million miles an hour.
screenshot this. This is just some of them, right?
Mm,
That's just a weird coincidence. Maybe God likes using sixes. Who knows?
yeah.
Once you see through the deception, you unplug from the heliocentric matrix, and then they lose control over you. The devil, if you will, needs your consent.
Yes.
Can't read your mind. They can hear your words, can see your fear, but you have to consent, right? There is a
Mm.
law. I believe there's a law of free will. God's law,
Absolutely. It's God
right?
wants you to have free will because God
Right.
doesn't want puppets. He wants you to choose him, but at the same time, that means you could
Right.
also turn towards evil. That's the
But but
yeah.
if you break someone else's free will, the punishment for that is the karmic punishment for that. The elite know this, so they try not to break your will. They never
That they
force
want
anyone.
consent. They
Yeah,
want the
they
consent.
they get you to do everything, and they also use revelation of the method. They always tell us what they're doing.
Yeah, they're supposed to release their karmic. No, I'm with you. I'm
Right?
with you on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's
here's your homework on my website. Go to the crash course and start watching the videos. They're really good. Whether you believe it or not, they're well done, they're well made, they're entertaining, they're thought provoking. And I guarantee you, if you get through the first three, you're toast. Okay. You're finished. The globe is finished.
yeah.
And then, there's so many people. There's people that used to attack me. I mean, people still do attack me. People that said it's so stupid. I'm not doing it. When I heard about it, I refused to even look. And they said, after I get messages all the time. Hey, I started watching your videos. I started looking. I did investigation myself. Holy crap, this is real. It's made the biggest difference in my life. And I think that depression comes from when your soul, your true self, can't speak to your mind because it's too lost in the programming and it gets
Mm.
depressed. When you see the truth of this world, the true power that you have, the amazing place that this is, it frees your mind. And I've seen people lift up out of depression, out of drug addiction, and become fully motivated. And people have started making families and all sorts of stuff. All sorts of amazing stuff happens if you understand that the Earth is flat. It's not the shape that matters; it's that it's intelligently designed. Therefore, there is a creator. Therefore, there is
Is
no
a
option not to be a creator. On the
Mhm.
heliocentric model, Big Bang was just nothing; it happened by itself,
Yeah.
or maybe God made it,
Yeah.
right? But this way, there's a choice. When you see the truth of this world, you cannot deny creation. And they don't want a civilization of people that can't deny creation because it's harder to control them, let alone could be impossible.
And I'm with you 10,000% on that. I do believe it's everything they're doing is it's the antithesis of growth, right? We get rid of fossil fuel, get rid of power, get rid of energy, get rid of growing, get rid of farming. The entire thing, it's comically evil. It's like don't have kids, don't pray, don't observe the Sabbath, don't even meditation. I meditate every day. And like you said about like the Matrix, I have to not look at the news, not look at the clock,
Right.
not look at
The,
I just have to
the
slow
news gives you
down.
cancer.
It absolutely does. I mean, by probably like my favorite quote, be still and know I am God, is just shut it all down, get quiet, and
So
just
here's the homework I have for people.
all right.
Don't believe anything I say. I know you have a hard going out in 2 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you gotta bounce. Yeah.
All right. Um, go to my website, check out the crash course, get the app. If you're like on board, the app is great because it saves you tons of time. It delivers you, it breaks YouTube's algorithm, and it gets you all the content. Learn about the old world. Have you seen this yet? This just came
Mhm.
out. Hibbler Productions.
I haven't seen it, but yeah, no, I've had on the guys that make his
Oh,
shows.
Sean Hibbler. You had Sean
Yeah.
Hibbler on?
I've not. Well, I've had on not him. I've had on. So Stu Peters is he is. I can't remember the names for the life of me on the spot. The ones that made his one of his movies, These Little Ones,
Oh yeah,
about
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, I can't remember I've had them both on here. I'm blanking.
So
I've had Stu on here. I've been on Stu's show.
yeah, yeah, no problem. So have I. Stu's amazing, and Stu gets it. Stu's a flat earther. All right. So uh check out Old World Order. That'll bring that it's about our fake history, and it's not about flat earth, but it will lead you. It'll lead you there. You can find that link on my website, right at the top, huge banner. Watch that video, watch it with your friends, family, loved ones, kids, and it'll blow your mind. And then it'll start you down a trail where you'll never be able to use the term "I'm bored" ever again in your entire life. You will never, ever, 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 ever be bored again.
And I think like the most important thing is just like don't attach your ego to things. Don't take it as a personal attack
Yeah,
against things. Like, there's two ways to go about this show. I could come in here immediately combative, or instead I just it's come in. It's like, dude, let's have fun. Like,
right.
where's this go?
And,
Yeah,
and the other thing is in your comments, you'll probably get comments from people like Dave's a scammer. He's just trying to sell his $3 app and all this stuff, but they will never, ever, ever offer a globe proof. And if you
mm.
check their channels, they're blank channels, they're empty channels, they're troll
Oh yeah,
channels.
yeah. No,
Right?
I trust me.
But
I get plenty of them.
yeah, yeah, but the thing is, they'll comment on everyone's comments and they want to steer you away. They want to tire you out. They want to scare you. But once you understand that what this place isn't, then you can find out what it is and who you are.
Mm.
So
And even if you don't find out the latter, you do have to again. I don't know what happened on 9/11. I know
I
I
do.
don't. I know I don't
No, I
believe.
don't. I don't
Yeah,
either.
but I know I don't believe the excuse me,
Yeah.
the accepted narrative, and that is an important step and to go. I know it's not true. I don't know what the answer is, but I know it's not that. Why are they not telling it? Who is behind it? Well, this is not a benevolent leader. This is clearly an evil power structure. Oh, what else would an evil power structure do? Oh, maybe they don't want you to enjoy life. Maybe they don't want you to enjoy, being in God's perfect creation. Maybe they don't want you to
There you go. That's what it's
smile
all
under.
about.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes
But
down to is like ultimately they want you to be fearful and in pain.
they're hiding free energy. Think about that. What if you had
Yes,
a device? What if you had a
exactly.
device that like the size of your fist that could power your car infinitely, heat your home and air condition your home as much as you want? You can make it
Desalinate the ocean,
right.
give
Yeah.
food to everyone on the planet.
Would that free up some of your time? Sure. You
Just a
could
little
probably,
bit.
yeah, you could like
Just a little
farm
bit.
and just trade with your neighbors. You wouldn't, I mean, we work to pay for power that
We
is
work to
provenly
work.
free. Yeah. We're,
Yeah, it's the Industrial Revolution. Aren't we supposed to all produce like 10? My dad, he started his business career in like the early 90s, and he's like, I remember the advent of the cell phone, and he's like, we were gonna get so much work done. He goes, not true at all. He goes, that work came home with you. He's like, these things should like multiply your ability to do things, and they don't. That is the ultimate. It's like so we're getting faster with computing power and industrial capabilities and shouldn't we
some of that, I agree with some of that, but some of that, there, we can use right now. We're using their technology against them. We're
Sure.
having this
No, sure.
conversation, waking people up. I have my cell phone, right, which it is attached to my hip. I will admit it, but I can go work. I can talk to people no matter where I am. I go to
Sure.
Mexico for the winter, right, and I'm able to do this from Mexico because of an internet
Sure.
connection, because of my cell phone, because of my computer. So yeah, we need to take their stuff against them. People say like Bitcoin's a CIA psyop. No, well, there's cryptocurrency is going to be their downfall, right?
Hmm.
Because we can get off of their stupid fiat system, get off their stupid globe. They lose complete and total control over us.
And that again, it comes down to control. Is
Yeah,
we're in the Garden of Eden. We're supposed to be playing, and yet
yeah,
an evil force would want you to not play. A bad
absolutely.
substitute teacher just doesn't want you to play because I don't want any smiling and laughter. It's like you're a demon. You're a demon.
Yes, there's demons everywhere. There's
Yes.
demons there. You got to watch out for demons, and that's a real thing. You know how you get away. This is a spiritual war we're in. You know how you get away with a spiritual war? You make people believe that that's not a thing. Make people believe that
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's not a thing, and then therefore they're at a huge disadvantage. You're spinning out of control, flying through an infinite space vacuum. You're weakened.
You're weak. It's all nothing. You're just you're just an amoeba on a rock.
Yeah. I think you're a flat earther and you just didn't want to admit it before the show.
No, I'm not, but I think you and I are on the same page of just there's evil in this world, and they don't want you to know God's perfect and infinite love.
All right. Absolutely. This is what it's all about.
This is what it comes back to.
This is what they're hiding God. That's in my opinion, that's the number one reason. Hiding God, hiding more resources, hiding your true power, all of that stuff. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Watch the first 3 videos in that list. After you do that, hit me up again. We'll schedule another.
I'd love to, man. I'd love to do a nuke episode, but I gotta run. I got a phone call in like less than a minute. Dude, thank you so much for your time, man. Guys, please go in the description. Please go check out the link to the Flat Earth Dave is in there, and all your stuff's on there. Yeah, shoot me an email, dude. I'd love to do it again sometime.
All right, hit me up, flatearthdave.com.
All right, guys. Guys, thank you for watching.